Hi everybody, this is Judy Tuttle from Tuttle Up Stamping. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator in Lincoln, Nebraska. I can say that. I'm here with you tonight with my Monday night, 7 o'clock Central Time, Facebook Live video. Gosh, I'm having trouble putting my words together tonight for some reason. I just got back from a fabulous weekend. It was actually 5 days. I left last Wednesday, got back last night. Hi, Jenny. I miss you. Let me get my computer all set up here and ready to go so that I can see your comments. Thanks for coming to watch tonight. I just returned from a trip to St. George, Utah. There was a group of Stampin' Up demonstrators who had earned the incentive trip but didn't get to go on it this year. Hi, Alice. Thanks for joining me. And I got to spend Wednesday through Sunday with about 90 other demonstrators who had also won the incentive trip, but none of us got to go. So Rhonda Wade, hi, Stormy, Indiana. You know, it's been raining a lot here too, Alice, in Nebraska lately. And I had a beautiful time. We did some hiking in Zion National Forest, which is just stunning, unlike anything I'd ever seen before. Hi, Kathy. Thanks for watching. I wish you had come to St. George. It was such a wonderful time. I want to see you soon. So anyway, we ate at some great restaurants. We had some stamping time together, lots of laughs, played games. It was just super, super fun. I learned a lot. The greatest thing about those events is that people are so great about sharing things that work in their business and things that don't, and are always willing to help each other out. And I love that so much about the Stampin' Up community, that everybody is so willing to share. I have an event coming up on Thursday called the Shaded Summer Stamp Card for Birthdays and Friendships. That is Thursday night at 7 p.m. here at my house, or to go, but you would have to have the Shaded Summer stamp set in order to make that. I hope that you can join me, or you're willing to take it to go. These cards are stunning. I actually had purchased a tutorial kit from Erica Serwin about 4 or 5 months ago, and now all the product that she used has been retired, so I made it my own way, and I think they are beautiful. So I hope you can make it to my Shaded Summer Stamp class, which is Thursday night, and you can also get it to go. I cannot wait to stamp with you tonight, so I'm going to go ahead. Arliss, you know what, Arliss? You won a stamp set 2 weeks ago, and I need your address. So you were the customer that I drew out of the hat for watching my video 2 weeks ago, and I need your address. So if you will PM me above your address, I will get the stamp set out to you. Okay. All right. So if you don't mind, I'm going to go ahead and do some switching around here. I'm going to move my camera, if you don't mind. I'm going to cover it up so you don't get dizzy. And I'm going to move everything down here. And a little bit over, I think. Let's see how that looks on camera. That looks great. All right. So let me grab what we're using. We are using tonight the True Beauty stamp set and the matching beautiful dies here. And it comes with this really cool lattice type background design, but it also comes with all of these shapes, right, that cut out these flowers, all these floral pieces here. And then it comes with a couple of extra little what I want to say, greenery berry pieces that you can use to like fill in and make it fluffy. Okay. I'm also going to use tonight these new stylish shapes dies. These are going to be my go-to. I can tell already. I just got them a few weeks ago, and I think I've used them on almost every single card. Hi, Roz. How are you? Hi, Sue. Thanks for joining me. So glad you guys are with me tonight. If I sound a little hoarse, it's because I had a crazy week last week in St. George with a lot of fun demonstrators, and I just got back late last night. So I'm a little still in recovery mode. I'm going to use the Beautiful Florals embossing folder. We're going to pull that out. And I think you guys are going to enjoy this card. I'm calling it the double Z fold card. That's what it looks like to me when it's done. So bear with me here. I think you're going to really enjoy this. We are taking, and I'm using Mossy Meadow. And the reason why I'm using Mossy Meadow is in the DSP, on the DSP here, they tell you exactly what colors coordinate with all of these beautiful papers. So lots of bright, beautiful florals. You guys know how I feel about that. Aren't they fun? So all these are bright prints. Here's another one. Great florals, one of my favorite paper. And then the back sides of all of these are like just coordinating more subtle, solid colored designs. And Mossy Meadow is one of the greens that's in this paper, and that's the color I decided to use tonight. Okay, so I just realized I need my score pal, so give me just a half a second to grab it over here. Okay, I'm going to use a bone folder. Usually when I use my score pal, I know we have scoring stylists. I almost always use my bone folder because I know that it is always going to be right there by my score pal. If I'm scoring multiple times, I love to use the scoring tool here because it just seems easier to me. I put my paper down, and this... Oh my goodness, my husband just turned on the water outside and I'm in the basement. So it's going to get a little loud down here. I'm sorry. Okay. Can you guys hear that? I apologize. I'll have to get on to him about that. Okay, so I'm going to score it at these measurements, okay? 2 3/4, 4 1/4, 7 1/2, and 8 1/2. Why do I feel like that's not right? Well, we're going to go with it. Because this is 2 3/4, so I would need to go... I think that should be 2 3/4 to 4 1/4 would give us 1 1/2 inches there. 7 1/2, and then I think I need another, oh, maybe it is 1. Let's see. Okay. So we're going to Z-fold it back and forth like that. And when it's done, yeah, I think I needed to do this a little bit further. It needs to be... Oh my gosh, I apologize. Give me just a second. The one that I used, this is the one that I used as my guide. And maybe it's not wrong. Let me make sure here. 2 3/4, 4 1/4, 7 1/4, and 8 1/2. That's the one that's wrong. This one right here should be 7 1/4. Well, guess what? Lucky me, I have another Mossy Meadow piece here, and we're going to do that again. So we're going to do 2 3/4. This is kind of a hot mess, isn't it? Okay, it's going to be okay because that's not going to show. 2 3/4, 4 1/4, 7 1/4, and 8 1/2. There we go. Okay. Now, we're going to Z-fold it back and forth like that. And look, now it's exactly 5 1/2 inches long, which is what I want. Okay? So the correct measurements are 2 3/4, 4 1/4, 7 1/4, and 8 1/2. Yes, Jenny, if you would like to text my husband and tell him that the water is making a lot of noise down here in the basement, I would appreciate that. All right, so there we go. That is going to be our double Z-fold right there. Okay, let me get my score pal out of the way. And now I'm just going to take my bone folder and just really burnish those score lines. This is a new bone folder I just got in St. George. It was called Gather Together, and she had them made all with our phone numbers on them. So, phone numbers. Oh my gosh, you guys, mine are names with our names on them. Oh my goodness. Okay, so this is our fold. This is going to be how it opens, like this. And then I have cut a Mary Merlot. I've cut 2 of them, and they are both cut 4 inches by 4 1/8 by 4 1/8, I think. Okay, 4 1/8 by 4 1/8. And then I have 2 pieces of designer series paper that are cut 4 by 4. Okay, these are, and this is just the opposite side of this one right here. And then I have another piece of Mary Merlot, which is cut 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. Okay, 2 3/8 by 4 1/8. So these are 4 1/8 square. This is 2 3/8 by 4 1/8, and these are 4 by 4. Okay, so I'm going to start by adhering one of my pieces of DSP to one of the Mary Merlot cardstocks. Okay, and I'm using Mary Merlot because it's one of those colors that were in the DSP. Okay, I love this paper. I just really love the bright colors and the bold prints. Okay, so this one right here is going to go right on this right here, but not yet. First thing I'm going to do to that is that I'm going to get my seam binding ribbon, or maybe I'll use the, oh, here it is right here. This is just our white. It's a very thin, very sheer seam binding ribbon. And I'm going to tie a bow around this first panel off to the left side here. Jenny, you must have gotten a hold of me because he just turned the water off. So I think he did that a couple of weeks ago when I was on Facebook Live too. He's a good man. I won't complain too much. He's out mowing the lawn, and he's so sweet. He always mows our neighbor's lawn too because he's elderly. So we kind of take care of him as well. Okay, so that's going to be my front panel. And then I have already cut out a white circle from the stitched shapes, stylish shape dies, the ones I just showed you. These, I used the largest circle from that set, and I'm going to put this in my embossing folder, and I'm just going to run it through, and this is the Pretty Florals embossing folder. I love this one. So give me just a second over here. I'm going to do it off camera where you can't see me, but I am embossing, and I'm going to show you what it looks like when I pull it out here. It's pretty amazing. Okay, back and forth. All right. There we go. Here's my circle. And you could really use either side. They're both beautiful, but I like the side where the embossing like kind of raises on the top. And I'm just gonna put that right in the middle, right there. I'm gonna cut these tails off, but I'm going to use dimensionals to pop that up a little bit off the front there. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, I just hit my cord on my camera. You're bouncing a little bit. Oh, note to self. Maybe I need a recovery day after a vacation. I don't know. All right, so it is so pretty, Sue. You know, I'm not even sure I would have noticed it, but I saw another demonstrator use it and I fell in love with it automatically. So here we go. I'm gonna put this down on the front. So pretty. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to set that aside for just a second. I'm going to take the second panel, and for this one I'm going to use the back side of that same paper, and it's mostly Mossy Meadow. And I'm going to attach it here. Now, one of the things I really love that is in the stamp set that I've already used on another card is this kind of lattice design right here. And what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut that out of some gold paper right here. But what I learned from a previous class that I did is that it's very helpful to put our adhesive paper on the back side. Otherwise it's really hard to like glue these little pieces right here. So I'm gonna cut this down about the size. I've already cut it into 1-inch strips. I just cut a lot of my adhesive strips into 1-inch strips. It just makes it a little easier to work with than those big sheets, I think. Okay. There we go. I'm going to flip this over and I'm just going to add my adhesive sheets to the back of this. And I found that just like when you're making you're putting your stickers on your stamps, it's easiest to work with half of the sheet at a time. So I'm just going to press that down. Do the same thing with this one. Let's see here. Where is that seam? Oh, here it is. It doesn't have to be completely covered, as long as most of it is. And if you get a little bit over the edge like that, be sure to cut that off, or else it'll really stick to your embossing machine when you go to okay, here I go, next strip. Okay, there we go. So I've put that adhesive backed paper. I really love this paper because it's gonna make this into a sticker after I've cut it out. Now I just want to get a little bit of that lattice design on this gold, maybe this way. So I'm gonna run it through. Let me pull my big shot out here so you can see, or my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine, so you can see how I do this. Now, I'm very sad to tell you guys that some people were having trouble with their magnetic plate platform. And so Stampin' Up! Has made the decision to pull it off indefinitely. I have not had any trouble with mine at all. Some people have had trouble with it coming apart at the seams. That is not something I have had problems with, and I have used mine a lot. So I'm going to choose to keep mine. I think Stampin' Up! Is going to reimburse your money, or your Stampin' Up! Demonstrator will reimburse your money, depending on how you paid for it. And now I'm just taking this, and I'm just taking my scissors. You could use anything, and I'm just punching out those diamonds there that are inside. Release it from the back of the die. I think somebody's going to invent a really cool way of using all these diamonds that fall out of this, because they are kind of cool. I'm not going to save them tonight, but they are kind of fun. Might be fun on a Christmas card, right? Okay, here we go. Okay, I'm going to put that away. Here's my gold piece. I'm going to put my big shot away for just a moment. I'll pull it back out again. Now, what I'm going to do here is just snip off. Just randomly snip around this. And I want it to be not quite so perfect. I want it to look almost like a lattice that has been, you know, damaged, or I don't know how to say it. Just not so symmetric. So I'm just cutting through this at different angles. I just wanted to add a little texture to the background of my center panel. Okay, so here is my lattice. Here's what I'm going to attach it to. And I'm just going to attach it on right like that, just to give a little interest to that so it's not so flat. And so now, so easy, I'm just going to pull this adhesive right off of here so that it will stick onto my DSP. And it's really easy to pull that backing off of it once you see where it's at. Here we go. Once you get one little piece of it, then you can, and I kind of like that it's not so perfectly cut. I kind of wanted it to look a little off center. Maybe I'll even like cut this piece out here. There we go. All right, that's going to go on my center panel. Now that I have done that, I have one more panel here, and this is going to have a piece of white on it right like that. Now, I already know that I'm going to use this stamp from that stamp set, and I'm going to use the Mossy Meadow, the green, and I'm going to stamp, ink up this stamp, but then I'm going to stamp it off because I want the green on this just to be very subtle. Right like that. So pretty, huh? And then I'm going to stamp on this the sentiment that says, well, maybe I'll put it back in here. No. Here it is. You are a true friend is what I wanted to say. And I'm going to stamp that in my Merry Merlot. Right there. Pretty, huh? Okay. So there's my 3 panels. I'm going to go ahead and add this white to that third panel there. So today I had a couple of appointments this morning. I've been working on my Shaded Summer class, which is this Thursday. And then next week on Wednesday, we're leaving to go to Florida. We're going to Miramar Beach, Roz, in the Panhandle. We're taking a family vacation there with all the kids. I'm so excited about that. We've never really done anything like that before, so that should be fun. All right, I have in front of me my Mossy Meadow, and I'm going to ink up this stem from the stamp set, and I'm going to stamp it right here. Okay, I'm not going to worry about that halo I got because I'm going to die cut this out. Then I'm going to ink up this flower. But first, I'm going to ink it up in some polished pink, because that's also one of the colors that's in this. Right here is the polished pink. But then I'm going to add a little bit of Mary Merlot using a sponge dauber, just to give it a little bit of shading here. I think my Mary Merlot needs to be re-inked. It's feeling a little dry. Okay, huff on that. I'm going to stamp it right there. Isn't that pretty? Can you see that shading? I'm not going to worry about the halos because I know that it's going to not cut with the die. Okay, the die's gonna take care of that. All right, I love the variation in that. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is take this bloom here, and I'm gonna ink it up in my Calypso Coral. And then I'm going to add some more of that variation of the Mary Merlot, which unfortunately I just put away. Okay. I'm going to add some of that to give some variation on that one as well. Huff on it. There we go. So pretty, isn't it? Okay, and now my leaves. I'm going to do my little leaves in the Mossy Meadow. I'm going to try to fit that in here. Maybe I need another piece of white. Why scrunch it when I don't have to? So here we go. I'll put another of that green right there. All right, now I have dies that will cut out all of these pieces, okay? So I've got my, let me get my magnetic platform here. I've got my die. You just kind of have to like move it around till you find the way that best fits. That looks like it right there, doesn't it? And then here's my die for this bloom, right there. And hopefully I can fit this in here. Oh yeah, it's gonna fit just perfectly. Okay. And then let me cut this leaf off. You guys still with me out there? These are beautiful, aren't they? And I love when you can take the sponge dauber and make different variations in color. That is one of my favorite techniques. Okay, I'm gonna take this over here to the side and run this through my machine really quickly. And we will have our pieces. So tell me in the chat, what exciting things are you guys doing this summer? What are you looking forward to it? Or maybe you don't have any summer plans at all. We're going to Florida, like I said, in another about week and a half. And then we are going to be home for a few weeks. And then we're going to come home for a few weeks and then go to Texas for Miss Lucy's birthday and all of that. Tell me where you're going this summer. All right, so here is my flower. Isn't that going to be beautiful? So I'm going to start by attaching this to this, just like that. So I'm going to turn it over. I don't know, do I want the stem? Do I want the... No, I think I want the flower on top. So I want it just like that. And I'm just going to take a piece of our tear and tape and just tape that down so it all sticks together. I could also use a glue dot if I wanted to. This time I think I'm going to use tear and tape. And I'm just going to hold that whole piece down right like that. And then I'm going to take some dimensionals and maybe I'll take a little sliver and put it on the stem right there. And then by the time I get back from Texas for Lucy's birthday, it's going to be time for school to start again. But the good news is I've let everybody know, I'll let you guys know, is that next year will be my last year. Jim and I plan to retire and move to Texas at some point next year. So I'm super excited about that. Okay. So is nobody going anywhere? Not going anywhere? Or have you tuned out? I don't know. So pulling off all these dimensional pieces, and I'm just going to put this flower kind of catty corner right like that. And then on the front of this one, I'm going to stamp just because. Maybe I'll go ahead and do this flower first. There it is. Almost lost it. But voila. It's going to go right like this. Let's see. How do I want to do this? Maybe right like that. So I'm going to do just what I did with the other one. I'm going to take a little piece of tear and tape. Oh, good. I'm glad you love it. You're making me happy. I'm going to your carnival. Jenny's coming to my creative carnival, by the way, that I'm having on June the 25th. It's filling up. I'm getting excited about that. You can still come. You can send me a private message. It's here in Lincoln, and it's an all-day stamping event. It's called the Creative Carnival. We're going to play carnival games for prizes, for Stampin' Up! Prizes. We're going to stamp. We're going to use the cherry bundle and the elephants on parade to make our cards. And then I've got some surprise cards as well. All right, now I need a sentiment here on the front. And the sentiment I'm going to use is just because. And I'm going to stamp that in Mary Marlowe. The rodeo. I'm excited for, oh, yay, Chelsea's coming to my carnival as well. Okay, so just because, and then I'm going to go back to my Stylish Shapes dies here. They just fell off my counter, so let me put these all back together. And I'm going to use this banner die right here. but I'm going to do it a little more to the left side, right like that. And I think I'm going to cut that side off straight. Go back to my magnetic plate. And there we go, right like that. Center it straight. Gonna run it through over here off camera. And I just love how these dies do the stitched edge on the inside and the outside edge. So here's my, how pretty is that? Isn't that beautiful? I love this. Okay, so you haven't even seen the wow factor yet. Wait till you see that. Okay, it's going to go right like that, just because. Oh, thanks, Roz. I think it's very pretty as well. Now, if you know me, what always makes everything even more beautiful is some dots or pearls or embellishment. I'm using our new 21 to 23 in color opal rounds, and I'm going to use this polished pink color right here, and I'm just going to scatter some of these gems around. Maybe one right there, maybe one popping off the end right here. What do you think about that? I love that. Okay, so now let's go back to our Z-fold. And here we go. This is how it's going to go. This piece is going to go right on here. Okay? So you only want to put adhesive right on this front panel right here. And so I think this time I'm going to use liquid glue so I have a little chance to get it very straight, and then I know I'm not going off my edge here. Okay, and that'll give me a little wiggle room to make sure I get that really straight on there, right like that. Okay, then this one is going to go right in here, and that's going to show a little bit hanging out, but I think that's part of the mystery of it all. And this one is going to go, or you know what? I could put that up in that. Why don't we do that? That's fun. I'm going to put it up here in this corner. Here we go. I'm going to lay this panel right there on that second panel. Make sure it's nice and square with the edges. There we go. See how that does like that? And then our very last panel right here is going to go right on this last piece right here. So, and if you guys want, I'll put all the measurements for this up in my description when I'm done. Isn't this fun? I had never seen a fold like this, but then I got that. I'll show you the other card in more detail that I got as one of my swaps this week. So when we were in St. George, we had to make 78 cards that were all the same because there were 78 ladies coming and everybody got to swap. Thank you, Maxine. So here's my card. Okay, this will fit into a regular 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch envelope. And then it opens like this. Isn't that so pretty? And look, they can set it up on their desk. I love cards that people can set up and display, don't you? So I will put all the measurements up in the description. I hope you love this card. I used the True Beauty stamp set, the beautiful flowers, dies, right here. They will all fit on here. I'll have to play with that a little bit. And what a lot of people didn't see that I want to make sure you know about is the beautiful floral, the pretty florals embossing folder. It really is so pretty. So pretty. So I called this a double Z fold card. So fun. And then I love that lattice too, Sue. This is the card that I got as one of my swaps that I used for my measurements. And this was from He's All That stamp set and dies. And didn't they do a great job? Wishing you a happy Father's Day. Holy smokes, you're amazing. To the man who does everything. I love that. And this is some of the dies that come in that He's All That stamp set and die bundle as well. So I hope you enjoyed this tonight. As always, so let me see if I have an envelope handy so I can show you how it does. Here's an envelope. Fits into, look at that. Slides right in. There's something in my envelope. That's why it's, yep. There's some dies inside this envelope. So let me get rid of those. Sometimes I use envelopes to keep extra pieces. So here we go. See? Isn't that fun? You would definitely need some extra postage on this. Or I think sometimes I even like to slide this into a small bubble envelope too to protect it. But that's so fun. So sorry about my raspy voice. Let me flip everything around here. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. Sorry, it was a little bit of a hot mess there at first. Sorry, let me get my camera. There we go. Thank you so much. I always appreciate you coming. I will be right back here next Monday night. Sorry, next Monday night at 7 o'clock. And hopefully I won't be hoarse anymore. So hope you loved my Awash and Beauty double Z fold card. So fun. I'll make sure I put the measurements all up for you in the description. So God bless everybody. I'll see you next Monday. Bye-bye.